Gaurang, good morning and welcome. Markets continuing to look a little uncertain, Gaurang, in terms of, I guess, expiry back home, but also what we heard from the Fed overnight. Global cues a little dicey. What's your sense?
Morning, Abha. Well, we should possibly hold on to those 7,400 plus mark and go closer to maybe 7,480, 7,500 to soothe the sentiments on the positive side for a while. Given the kind of news flow, well, I was not surprised to see a subdued market, but yes, we were holding our head above the water. That was one positive point that you may pull out of the otherwise a very subdued global environment. The good part is that the earnings season has not been disappointing up until now. Of course, what I have seen remains to be seen. What the rest of the earnings have to tell us about the growth going forward from here on. To decisively say that whether we have seen a bottom at 70-50, I think it's a little bit premature. We need to just wait out for a while, maybe about a week or a fortnight. And there was also, an extreme low expectation on a pre-budget rally. And I think it is good, Abha, because if you have a expectation build up and if that disappoints, then I think you have concerns in terms of sell-off coming into the market. So that's the positive thing that I would say. Expiry today, if you look at the last 3 months average, then as of yesterday, we were much below, whether it was Nifty futures rollovers or stock specific rollovers. So if there is any positivity in terms of rollovers, then I think we could be better than what we've seen in the last 3 months. But yes, as of yesterday, it's a little bit of concern. Stuck in a range, 73.50, 74.50 and 74.80 is the range that we are working with as of now.
Okay, so that's the broader picture there coming in from Gaurang. Gaurang, you talked about earnings, so let's focus on a few of those. Let me get a view on some of those banking names we're tracking today. We've got HDFC post-earnings, a bit of a miss there. ICICI Bank that we're still watching out for. Again, asset quality will be something that markets will be eyeing. How are you viewing some of these numbers?
Well, a marginal blip on HDFC Limited, and not to forget, I think the environment is quite conducive going forward from here on. You have lower property prices, you have lower interest rates, excuse me, you have initiatives by the government in terms of affordable housing for all smart cities. So all these possibly point towards a brighter future for the HFC, that is Housing Finance Company. And not to forget, HDFC is the frontline name in the HFC segment. We have a positive coverage. And our target, if I'm not mistaken, stands at somewhere close to about 1250 or 1275 on HDFC Limited. On ICICI Bank, yes, the concerns over the last 2 or 3 quarters had seemed to abate a little bit in terms of the number that we saw last quarter. This quarter, what the earnings will come out today, my sense is that there is going to be a little bit of uptick in terms of asset quality. Provisioning, there again it's going to be a concern. If they are able to maintain the run rate and improve on the margins front, then that could be a face saver. Otherwise, you are likely to see a continuance of underperformance in the large cap banking name compared to HDFC Bank or an Axis Bank. I think ICICI Bank has been an underperformer, and if the numbers disappoint today, it is likely to increase the pressure on the lower side. Having said that, prudent on my side to give a disclosure that we have a positive coverage, but we might review our stand post the numbers today.
All right, fair enough. Just about a minute and a half to go for trading to begin. So Gaurang, I'm going to get a detailed view from you later, but just as we count down just a minute or so to go, top stocks that you're watching out for today. And I'll come back and ask you why.
Well, Maruti is one, Abha, because that also comes out of this earnings today. And last 3 months, sales on and some numbers have been quite impressive. Baleno has done fantastically well. Uptake on S-Cross and a slight bit of positivity in terms of CAS numbers. So, put all these things together and the export numbers that they have delivered, I think the number is going to be much better. And stock has corrected and had gone closer to that sub 3800 mark. and then recovered. So we have a positive coverage, and our target is somewhere close to about 45.50 to 46.50 on Maruti from a long-term point of view. One other company that delivered fantastic set of numbers yesterday was SKS Microfinance. Abha. We are extremely positive on this name. And if somebody is looking at it from an investment point of view, I think SKS Microfinance and Power Grid, which also again delivered number yesterday, were a great set of numbers, and we believe that there is going to be some amount of positivity in terms of delivery action picking up. One small mid-cap FMCG name, Jyoti Laboratories, also comes out with these numbers today. We are having a positive coverage over here as well. I would like to see the penetration in non-southern markets for Jyoti Laboratories and the kind of success with its power brand that it has had.
Gaurang, the other space that seems to be standing out, a little bit of pressure, in fact, it's emerging there, is a telecom pack. Want to get your view in on that, because TRAI, once again, the prices that they're looking at for the spectrum auction, particularly the 700 megahertz, continue to be quite astronomical. Watching out for Bharti earnings today, again, the debt picture seems to be formidable. What would you suggest when it comes to the telcos?
Well, it's going to be a difficult time, not only on fallback of disappointing numbers from Idea and Narcom, and of course, remains to be seen what Bharti Airtel delivers today. Having spoken about telecom, I think a disclosure from our side, Bharti Airtel and Idea Cellular are under our positive coverage, but we have drastically downed the target for Idea Cellular post the earnings from 210 to I think 150, 155, 160 odd levels. That's the target for Idea Cellular. For Bharti, we'll wait for the numbers and then possibly have a look or revise the target. Now, in an environment which is already, very competitive, and we've seen some small amount of consolidation, we've seen some news flow on the 4G platform for Aircel, which Bharti is looking to buy. That's the kind of news that I just saw. Remains to be seen whether it is confirmed, and hear the verbatim from the respective companies. Launch of Reliance Jio in the next couple of months, maybe by March or April 2016, will also put tremendous amount of pressure, because they are coming out with a high-end platform of 4G, and if they come out with a very competitive tariff card, and if they are able to deliver the services without any hurdles or any interferences or disturbances or stoppages, then through the mobile number portability route, you might see subscribers migrating from XYZ company to maybe Reliance Jio. Of course, this is a point that needs to be just waited out and see how the services are, and whether we are seeing migration of subscribers from one company to maybe Reliance Jio. That would hurt the margins to a great extent, and that would put a tremendous amount of pressure on the numbers that will come by for the other telecom service provider companies. Only two names we are positive, but again, time and again, I would say that we would have to revise our coverage on Idea and Bharti, given the huge competition that we await in form of Reliance Jio.
Okay. Some of these other mid-cap names, Gaurang, on the back of earnings, Just Dial on the downside, Tata Coffee seeing a good set, SK seeing a good set. Any of these that you're tracking as well?
Well, SKs I just mentioned about a while back. The numbers yesterday were very good, and we have a positive coverage. Power Grid is the other one that we are extremely positive on the fallback of numbers that it has delivered. Jyoti Labs, I think it should possibly do well with the kind of advertising, sales, marketing and promo expenses that the company has taken to penetrate into the non-southern markets. If it is able to achieve the kind of level of penetration that it had desired, then I think it's going to show on the top line and bottom line. A little bit of early to say, because they have just started their penetration on the other states in pan-India minus southern India. Glenmark also comes out of these numbers today. Now I believe that there's going to be some amount of pressure on the margin front from LATAM, that is Latin America, but the pipeline of product launches should throw in positivity, and my sense is that post the correction, your downside is quite limited on Glenmark in the mid-cap pharma pack. In case if you're looking at from an investment angle, as a disclosure, we do have a positive coverage. And of course, in the mid-cap private sector banks, if you may, Kotak Mahindra and IndusInd Bank delivered great set of numbers. We are having a positive coverage over there as well.
Okay, a couple of other stocks that are standing out. So Gujarat Narmada, in fact, is moving up quite nicely so far. We'll pull up that one for you. That one from the mid-cap pack is also seeing a bit of action this morning. We've also got mid-cap pharma, a bit of buzz there, as Gaurang's also pointing out specific names, but we are actually seeing a bit of traction on some of those earnings as well. So far, we've got a SPICE that's continuing to move this morning. Bharti Infratel's not looking too happy so far on the back of numbers, so that stock's taking a bit of a hit. Gammon's moving. We've had an order win on Lanco as well to pull that up. Jaycorp's up about 4%. So a bunch of those names, in fact, seeing some amount of limited traction as well. So a couple of those, just pull up some of those reactions too and see how they're shaping up. A couple of other earnings we're watching out for. Vedanta is just trending negative ahead of that. So from the metals and mining pack, that's also standing out. Gaurang, let's talk about these capital goods majors, L&T, BHEL. We've seen consistent pressure building up on these names. The debate about when is the right time to get into them at these lower valuations or perhaps not at all continues to rage on. What would you suggest when it comes to this pocket of the market?
Well, it's going to be a long-drawn investment in case if you are picking up cap goods engineering space as an investment option. What is the right time, Abha? I don't think there is any person on this face of earth who would tell you that yes, this is the right time and from this level the stock or the market is not going to go down. And I have absolutely no comments on all those kind of timing the market is very difficult. I have not understood it and I won't even dare to comment at what level, what timing, etc. So correction on L&T, I think it's a great opportunity, sub 1100 as we speak, where the counter is trading. We have a positive coverage. We scaled our target down from 2100 to I think close to about 1800 odd levels. BHEL is highly avoided. I think yesterday we had some sell side coverage coming in from some of the foreign brokerage houses. On Siemens, Alstom, ABB, we have a positive coverage. My sense is that as we go forward, as the budget unfolds and as the government makes the environment conducive enough for corporate India to start investing in capex, and as government itself starts spending on national level infrastructure projects or other mega projects, you will see order book ticking upwards and possibly the earnings would look much more brighter if you talk about the next 2 or 3 quarters. So my sense is that yes, it will be a wait and watch kind of investment sector, cap goods engineering space, but over there you need to be careful what you're buying. Correction has made L&T, Siemens, ABB, Alstom very attractive candidates in the cap goods engineering space from 2-year plus kind of time horizon. I think BHEL has its own problem and has its own issues to deal with, whether it is in terms of order pullback or the great order book execution, glitches or negativities that BHEL has. You may possibly see pullbacks on any odd day on BHEL, given that it is one of the most beaten down stocks in the cap goods engineering space. But does that qualify for an investment idea? I would say no.
All right, fair enough. So that's definitely one pocket of the market that continues to look weak. Gaurang, even when it comes to the oil and gas heavyweights, and I know we've been talking about Reliance for a while, but just the last couple of sessions, and I know it's a very short-term outlook, but we haven't been seeing support coming in from there either. Do you see a shift in stance, particularly post those good set of earnings? I mean, from Reliance, do you see a kind of leveling out in the short term, or do you continue to see scope for sort of an upside when it comes to some of these oil and gas majors, particularly RIL?
Well, RIL is more of a non-gas play for us, oil, non-gas play for us, because we've seen the lowest level of output from the KG D6 basin in the entire history since they commissioned the KG D6. And with lower natural gas and crude oil prices, I don't think there is any incentive for them to throw up more oil or gas from the KG-D6 basin. But yes, their positivity, Abha, is that their capex in petchem is done and over. I think now as the additional capex comes on stream, you will have contribution coming into the top line and bottom line. Their investment in their telecom business, one of the largest investment that they have made, is also done and dusted, and we are now going to see the commercial rollout. So that will also add to the top line, bottom line. It may take a little bit longer time to contribute. Other businesses also, like retail, is doing not extraordinarily well, but yes, there are no negativities. So we have a positive coverage on Reliance Industries, but more on the new businesses and petchem business that they have, where we have seen margins improve, and of course on the gross on the refining margins front, they have recorded the highest number and have beaten the street estimate. So my sense is that from all these, that is minus the gas and oil business, we have a positive coverage. If they contribute, then that will add to the value of investment. We have a target of 1250, if I'm not mistaken, on Reliance Industries. Here again, your time horizon should be somewhere close to about 1.5 to 2 year kind of time horizon.
All right, Gaurang, thanks so much for joining us this morning and taking us through some of your views.